Alright guys, so now we're in the redshift here. We've got our overall beauty, looks pretty great. It's got everything in it, and then we've got our atmosphere layer that I've rendered out just separately because I wanted a really quick render in this. It's just supposed to add a little bit extra. I don't want to take a long time to render it either. And then I've actually got two volcanoes that I rendered out. One with slightly lighter smoke, and I think I like this one more. And one that I've actually included the reflections in. And to do that, what you do is underneath the whatever object you want to have in the layer for reflections, say, or even the alpha channel, you'd go into the ocean surface. And in the ocean surface in this case, we want to add in those reflections. So although we're enabling the matte, we're adding in, by increasing the reflection scale to 1, now I'm adding in all those reflections off the water in that pass, as well as the alpha channels. So if we decrease the alpha channel, we're not going to be adding that in, but if we increase it to 1, we'll add the alpha channel in that layer. Okay, so this comp is going to be pretty simple as well. Let's just throw down a layer contact sheet, and I like the beauty of all this. I'm not going to change much of it, but in the contact sheet you see all our layers here, and you know, looks pretty great. We've got all this information that we can use. I think I'm going to use mainly just the beauty, and I'm just going to modify a few things on the beauty. So one thing I want to do is to lower, and this is based on samples, so a lot of my comp is going to be kind of reducing the fireflies in the render, because I like pretty much everything else. First of all, because the crypto matte wasn't working, I want to separate out the sea from the land, so I have access to, you know, just the land or just the sea, and that's where the crypto matte would just kind of break those up for us. But for this, I don't need to be super accurate. I want one to have control over the reflections. And if we take a look at a shuffle and take a look at the reflection, you can see that the water is pretty good. It's just the actual land that I'm kind of want to reduce these fireflies a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hammer this out with a roto mask. So if we just kind of go to frame, let's see, in the middle, let's type in roto, and I'm just going to have to manually draw around this layer. So if we press spacebar, we can kind of zoom in here. And now I'm just going to draw, I'm just going to draw around the mountain. And it's going to be really quick, nothing really complicated. And sometimes we just need to hand bomb all this stuff. Okay, so just like that, let's go into frame 150, grab all this, kind of shrink it all down. I'm going to end up fading the edges. And I'm going to use the reverse of this roto to have control of the reflections. So you know, just kind of, you can do it as accurate as you want, but this is the whole point of the crypto matte. That's right, it'll literally take like 3 minutes. Okay, so just make sure that's going. I just want to make sure all those hot fireflies are within this roto. So maybe, you know, here. And before frame 40, there isn't any volcano actually going on yet. So All right, there we go. So it just took a couple minutes really. So now we've got this roto shape. Boom. All right, so maybe just go in and let's mask this out. So let's type in, let's do a merge. And under the roto shape, let's go into the output. We'll go to other layers and let's go down to mask. And let's hook up our A side to our shuffle node that we want to correct. And let's plug the rest into the mask here. Take a look at our merge node. And under the merge, we're going to select our mask here. So there we go. So there we have the mask of just our mountain there. And under the roto, maybe we want to feather the edges. And remember, this is just to work on, we're going to grab a Luma key. We're going to create a key and key down these highlights. So, and in the opposite direction, we're going to have control over the reflections in the water. So it doesn't need to be super perfect. Well, we fade it, but maybe bring it inside a little bit. There we go. So there's our mask. All right, so now what I want to do is let's put a color correct here. And under the color correct, let's boost up the contrast so we can only see kind of these areas. Take the saturation down to 0. So essentially we're going to be creating a mask to grade down our overall beauty channel here. So I'm going to take the contrast up to 4. Let's boost the gamma. Let's boost the gamma way up, and let's take the shadows down and just kind of really try to clip these areas. There we go. So there's a decent mask. So now all I want to do is let's shuffle this. You can see that we've got our mask, but we're going to be using the alpha channel. So in the alpha channel, we don't have any of this information. So I'm going to go into our shuffle node, and I'm just going to put the red channel, green or blue channel in the alpha. So now if we look at our alpha and our color, it's the same. So now we can just go to a standard color correct, and here in our color correct, we've got the option to, color correct our image. And if we go to a frame where we have some of these fireflies here, let's hook up our mask to our new mask that we created. And now we can just choose to kind of gain down these areas. So you see how, and it's not going to be perfect, so maybe I want to reduce the contrast of all of them and just kind of bring those down. But if you bring them down too much, the ones up here might get black. But you see, just like that, we've kind of used this mask to eliminate a lot of these fireflies. And it's not perfect, but it's definitely going to help. And I just didn't have the render power to spend double the time rendering this. So all right, we can use this technique for a lot of the layers. So if we go down to the contact sheet, take a look, we got fireflies in the volume channel. And that's pretty much it, really. Like, you got some of the beauty. But I kind of like, everything else is pretty good. All right, so let's just kind of keep going down.